what if 2 words could ruin your life? Not "I cheated," not "I'm leaving," just "not tonight." Imagine saying it once, then again, and again. In a marriage with no violence, no affairs, and no scandal, you just stop. And in certain countries, renouncing sensual pleasure becomes a weapon used against you. A weapon powerful enough to end your marriage, take your money, seize your home, and strip away your legal protections. Because in some parts of the world, your refusal doesn't stay in the bedroom. It's dragged into courtrooms and before religious councils, where strangers suddenly believe they have a vote over your body. Because a marriage isn't just a promise, it's a contract. And when the system decides you failed to perform a core duty, someone steps in, quietly, legally, brutally. And our first stop is a place you'd never expected. Japan, a society of precision, politeness, and control. It also has one of the highest rates of sexless marriage in the developed world. For years, countless couples exist in a state of quiet distance. No scandal, just silence. This is where the system finds its opening. Japanese law doesn't force you to have sex, but its courts can define a long-term, one-sided refusal of intimacy as a grave cause for a marriage's collapse. The translation is devastating. The marriage failed because of you. It's not a crime, it's a financial knockout. If a judge rules you caused the breakdown, you can be labeled the at-fault partner. Your spouse can then claim ishario, consolation money for emotional harm, on top of the standard division of assets. Suddenly, "not tonight" is no longer private. It's leverage. You never cheated. You were never violent. You simply withdrew. But in court, your spouse declares, "The marriage ended when the intimacy ended." And the judge agrees. Your refusal is now a legal judgment. You pay. In one of the most modern societies on earth, your silence in the bedroom is reframed as marital abandonment. Expensive, legal, and final. But what happens when the consequences aren't just financial, but a direct order from the state to return to the home you fled? India, where a cold bedroom doesn't just end a marriage, it can trigger a legal demand to go back. Imagine it. The excuses pile up. The beds are separated. One partner finally walks out, seeking freedom. But a colonial-era law remains: restitution of conjugal rights. One spouse goes to court and files a petition. They withdrew from marital life without reasonable cause. Order them back. Marital life isn't just a phrase. It means the shared home, the shared routines, and the intimacy the law assumes. No judge writes, "You must have intercourse." Instead, the court issues a decree: return, live under the same roof, restore what the law calls conjugal rights. You tried to escape emotionally and physically. The law, on paper, drags you back. And here, it becomes absurd. The system can't force you into a car, but it can force you into a corner. Ignore the decree, and it can be executed like any civil order, including the attachment of your property. You refuse to restore conjugal rights, so the court comes for what you own. You tried to protect your body by leaving. The law treats your absence as an error to be corrected. That decree becomes a permanent record, proof that you were ordered to resume marital life, and refused. The sequence is chilling. You say no. You leave. The court orders you back. You ignore it. The system records your personal no as legal abandonment. India's system tries to physically pull you back. But what if the state could control by simply turning off a switch, the one that controls your money, your food, and your shelter? In parts of Saudi Arabia, marriage is a clear contract under interpretations of Islamic law. One side gets maintenance, housing, food, and clothes. The other side owes obedience. This includes staying in the marital home and, in classical interpretations, being available to your spouse. The key word is nushuz, disobedience. Not a feeling, but a legal status. If a court rules a wife is in nuisance, for instance, by leaving the home without a valid reason, the consequence can be brutal and immediate. The money stops. No police, no prison. Just a legal stamp. Disobedient. Not entitled to maintenance. Your body remains free, but the support system your marriage provided can legally vanish. The logic is transactional. He provides and she fulfills marital duties. If you refuse to fulfill those duties without a legally accepted reason, the system asks, why should he keep paying? The court doesn't shout, go back to his bed. It just whispers, if you don't, you're on your own. This same pressure point exists in Pakistan, where family law also ties a wife's right to maintenance to her conduct. In societies where women may not have equal earning power, saying no can mean saying goodbye to your basic security. Refusal becomes wired into risk. The law never touches your body. It just gives the person you refuse the power to turn off the tap with a judge's blessing. But what happens when there are no courtrooms or legal codes? When your judge is the entire village? So far, we've seen courts use your no as evidence, issue orders, and cut off your finances. But what happens when there are no courts at all? Step into Maasai communities in Kenya and Tanzania. Here, marriage is an alliance sealed with bride wealth, cattle, and reputation. When intimacy collapses, when there's neglect or refusal of marital duties, you don't file a legal case. The elders arrive. The same clan leaders who witnessed the wedding cattle change hands now gather to discuss your bedroom. Mediation happens under a tree in front of people who know your name, your father, and your family's honor. Your private life is debated in the open air, in a circle where you are outnumbered and outranked. The enforcement isn't a law, it's shame. It's the crushing pressure of not breaking a deal the whole village witnessed. Your silence can be read as guilt. Your hesitation is met with advice that feels like an order. To walk away is to tear a contract between entire families, to challenge the bride wealth already paid, and to be marked by the very people you live among. In a world where everyone knows you, your no follows you down every path and to every doorway. For some, this circle of elders protects. For others, it means there is no private no, only a public problem to be solved, whether you agree or not. Across the world, the right to say no is supposedly yours. But as we've seen, that no often comes with a hidden price tag. In Japan, the bill is financial, labeling you as the one to blame for the marriage's end. In India, it's a court order demanding your return, with your property on the line if you refuse. In parts of the Middle East, it's a financial cutoff that threatens your survival. And in some communities, it's the collective stare of a village council negotiating the fate of your body. The word is the same, no. The consequences are radically different. The real question isn't just whether you have the right to refuse, but how much that refusal will cost you in your country, in your court, or in your own village. If you want to understand more of the hidden rules that control our world, make sure you subscribe.